And, you know, oh, you think you can stop me? I started that plan 35 minutes ago. Zemo. You know what I mean? That's Zemo. And so he's not ever overacting.
Yeah.
He's in the moment. He's in the moment. And he doesn't have to constantly boast about how much better he is than you because he just knows it.
And I
And so
love,
whatever.
and he ducks out every chance he gets.
Yes, he just disappears. He
Oh
just
man.
vanishes.
Oh,
Yeah. So I is he a better actor than them? I wouldn't say he's better than them, but it's just the way that his character's written. You
okay.
know, he's got a lot to go off of, man. You know, his backstory is just you gotta feel for this guy. He I don't think did he mean to kill Black Panther's father? I
No,
thought he just wanted to kind of blow up that area as like a he wanted to kill some people. I don't think he specifically wanted to kill his father.
he's a very smart man. If he knew that he could do it all over again, he wouldn't have killed that guy. He would.
I really don't think so. Like you said, when they're in the snow at the end of Civil War, he kind of like, yo, my bad. I didn't
Yeah,
mean to kill your
he
pop.
seemed like a good guy.
Yeah, he's like, oh, sorry about that. And you got, oh man, I feel like a terrible person now. I'm here rationalizing the murder of Black Panther's father. This is not cool, Norbert. You're a bad person.
Well, that's how
Uh,
good Brule is, you know?
that's exactly the point. And this is why when it's the three of them on screen, Brew, like, what did he say in Seven? He's got the upper hand. He's got the upper hand. He does, because he does all the time. He gets away,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Oh, I love
until even in jail, the Wakandans put him back in jail. He's like, yeah, okay, whatever.
it.
I'm still running things.
Yeah. What's your
Read books.
second award? What's your second favorite moment of the show?
The next one, the award for the couple that I most want to ship. It's kind of a tie between Sam and Bucky because they do that sexy staring
The
contest.
couples therapy where you have to get close?
In couples therapy, that's such a great moment. They
Yeah,
do that
man.
sexy staring contest. You guys are having a staring contest, aren't you? It's a tie between Sam and Bucky and Sarah, who is Sam's sister. It's like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she was
hey,
into
Bucky.
Bucky.
Hey, Bucky. He's like, hey, Sam. Yeah, hey, Sarah. He's
Yeah.
a third too, bro. And Sam is just instantly, yo, stop flirting with my sister. Because that can go down.
Yeah.
That can go down. And like Bucky said, he hasn't hooked up with anybody since what, 1946 or something like that.
Yep.
So, Bucky's a man. He's got needs.
Just don't say the code
Sarah's a
words.
single woman. Yeah. Oh man. Forget about it. If Sarah said the code words, he'd just be like, let's get it on.
She liked him. They
Oh,
liked each other, man.
they did. They did. They were into each other, man, and they had a solid chemistry. And Sarah was not one for play. She spent the 5 years raising the two boys and keeping that broken ship together.
Mm-hmm.
And Bucky's been through a lot, as we know, involuntary assassin. And, watching Steve when he fell off that train, all he went through, the torture. They've
Mm-hmm.
both been through a lot, man. They would be a great couple. They'd be a great couple.
And you know what? That's going to lead me to. I was going to say I have two that I loved. I liked it when Sharon Carter was able, Emily Van Camp was actually able to just wipe people out during that shipping container fight, where she's just going full John Wick, snapping
Yeah, she's
arms,
a
just
badass.
lighting people up. And because remember in Captain America, Winter Soldier, when that guy was about to get shot and she kicked that guy's chair out of the way, and then he
Hmm.
fell and didn't get killed. Like that was a legit move, Norbert. I remember seeing that. And then in Civil War, they just make her smooch Steve Rogers, and you're like, oh, come on. So it was nice to see her just get to slaughter stuntmen in a shipping
Yeah.
container fight. And I really love that moment. But I went back and I watched the boat repair montage with Sam and Bucky,
Hmm.
and
Montage.
and I just went, okay, this has got to be it, because you have Sam trying to rip a board off, and then
Yeah.
what? Bucky comes up and just rips it off and throws it on the
One
ground.
hand.
You
One
have
hand.
Sam trying to fix this pipe with a wrench. Then Bucky comes in and fixes it. Sam is just Falcon, I guess, whatever. He's just sitting there chatting with his friends, and then Bucky comes up and picks an entire pallet off the back of a truck and walks away with it. And they're sort of like sanding things, and it's just boat repair. That's it. And I'm a big
Dude.
fan of boat repair because I love Captain Ron. So it's just I don't know. That's what I wanted, man. Like, remember the opening action scene of this show? I was like, geez Louise, this is murdery.
Oh,
Like, he just
yeah. He's
murders.
killing people.
He's murdering terrorists.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know if they're terrorists. Like,
They were kidnapping a guy, I guess. I don't know either what the deal was with that. Yeah.
he murders loads of people, and I guess
All-
Batroc, George St. Pierre, he's bad news. But I was like, man,
He's
he
awesome.
just killed. This is like, for me, these shows are more about, like, what I love are the moments when Wanda's cooking lobster. I like the moments when they're repairing a boat. Like, those are my moments. That's what I love. And so I'm just the two of them, and they like having fun, fixing a boat, and just cheeky humor. So that's my favorite. That's my second favorite from this show.
I agree with you, man. That's why I had to give it a tie between Bucky and Sarah and Bucky and Sam. The sexy staring contest. These guys have so much chemistry together.
Yeah.
They really do. You're not going to move the seat back? No.
Oh, yeah.
The call back to the movie.
Volkswagen.
I love when Spider-Man beats the hell out of them in the airport, and he just goes, I hate you.
Yeah.
And he's not talking to Spider-Man who just kicked his ass. He's talking to Bucky. They got great chemistry, man.
And
a
they
lot of
stuck
people
to the
on
ground?
internet,
They were stuck to the ground. Yeah.
yeah, he webbed them to the ground. He was like, I hate you. But it's not real hate. It's just, God damn, this guy, Yeah. Yeah, they've always had a really good chemistry together. They have always had a really good chemistry together. And a lot of people on the internet, oh, this isn't going anywhere. Oh, there's a lot of Sam talking to Bucky, and I was like, read the room. That's the point.
Yeah, this is what we want. And
yeah,
I do feel bad for the show a little bit because it got hit really hard by COVID. So they were supposed to go to locations. That didn't work. They had to switch to locations. Then they had to shut down production. And then they weren't able to shoot certain things in certain places. And they probably shot less than they wanted to. So they had to condense it. And so you have the bad guy, what Carly, like, she doesn't really get, you get what she's doing, but she's never really a character. Like, John Walker doesn't have that, like, he goes from being this, like, likable super soldier to just being not, but then he's kind of likable. So
it's a very quick heel turn with him that I don't know if I was totally into it.
And and so I think they had to do it though because of the situation. I don't
right.
When you have a behemoth of this size in motion, and then COVID hits, and then they also lost various locations, and I think they had to really was it in Friends pivot. They just had to pivot, and so I don't blame the show for that. I don't blame any of the producers, and I still really enjoyed it. But it's like one of those, I wish like another episode, or just I would love to see the 100% vision of this.
Agreed. They needed another episode or two to give U.S. Agent room to breathe, so that we feel that heel turn is better. Because he was super nice, and then he just was.
Like, he had his best friend and his wife, and then it's just
right. You get that the death of his friend is going to change him, but he was already kind of being a jerk.
Yeah. It was,
but why?
It happens so, and I would have loved to see maybe like another episode of it, but I still enjoyed it. I still dug it. Like, I'm really happy for Mackie. I've always liked him a lot, so it's cool that he got his costume. He's Captain America. I think it's going to make for some interesting movies. Just like we said
how Zemo had a really good reason to be that way. Carly, they had a really good reason too, but it wasn't so clear. And then suddenly they just blow up a building full of people. You're like, why would you do that?
Yeah, you're a terrorist now.
Yeah, you're actually terrorists. Like, before you were kind of stealing food, and nobody's gonna hate you for stealing food, bro.
Yeah.
You're feeding people. You're trying to get people housing. That's really good. Like, literal billions of people are on your side, and then you just blow up a building full of people and soldiers. And it's like, oh, soldiers are the enemy, but there's also people in there.
Yeah.
It was they, again, like we said before, trying to just define, okay, this is the bad guy, like Agatha's the bad guy. Well, I mean,
you know what was tough, I think, about this show, where WandaVision, you could just be on a set inside of a bubble, and they did have to shoot. They shot the back lot in LA, they shot in Atlanta, they shot in a studio, so they are able to kind of quarantine and bubble themselves. But I think this one, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they were on location for so much of this movie and traveling around the world for the various locations. Like, they weren't able to have the luxury of being Loki green screen or WandaVision TV set. They had to. I think that's what hit them the hardest, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I got you. No,
Yeah.
I got you. The moving around bit, and then the fact that they were just trying to pin down, who's the villain, who's the final boss. Is it U.S. Agent? Is it the Flag Smasher, aka Carly? Is it Sharon, the power broker? That just comes out of nowhere. That's the winner of my. That's the winner of my award for sure. Why not? Sharon is the power broker. Sure, why not? Yeah, okay, whatever. Zemo, is he the final boss? You got 4 potential villains, and none of them actually get a chance to shine because there's only 6 episodes, like you said.
Man, but it's
this is the one that should have been 9 or 10 episodes, not WandaVision, in my opinion. I am one of those. They could have kind of started at episode 3 people for WandaVision, but you're right. It was nice to see the black and white stuff.
I guess immediately I was like, she's hurting. So I guess what we're watching now is her trying to play home. Does that make sense? And like really struggling. So you just have to get on that wavelength. If you don't, then I totally get it. But yeah, I think it was supposed to have more episodes, but still, at the end of the day, it had Brule dancing, it had some fun action scenes. It got kind of weird though with everyone insulting Wyatt Russell, like with all those pictures of him and old. I'm like, geez Louise, internet. But well, he's the bad guy, I guess, whatever. But yeah, so we're onto that now. I guess let's move on to let's just talk TV. Let's just finish TV. How's that sound?
I think Loki was next. Yeah,
all right,
that's
so
right.
Loki. Let's talk Loki. 6 episodes, right? In and out.
Yep. In and out.
Cheeky. I mean, just Owen Wilson. I mean, it pretty much featured so many actors that I really like. Gugu Mbatha Raw, Owen Wilson. I mean, Tom Hiddleston. I had no idea who Sophie DiMartino was, but I liked her a lot. Like I thought it was a really Eugene Cordero. I loved him in like when the TVA working in there.
Yeah.
But no, it was like a really really cool cast, really self-contained, good story, and jet skis. So that's my first mention. And that's my first. And I just got to read you this line because it's beautiful. In the early 1990s, for a brief, shiny moment, there was a beautiful union of form and function, which we call the jet ski.
Oh man! So Owen Wilson. We just have a montage of him on a jet ski, and it's just whoa, Black Betty, bam, whoa, bam, yeah. Is that where we're going?
Yeah, I mean, but all right. So I'm a big fan of Bottle Rocket, which is how Owen and Luke Wilson and Wes Anderson really made a name for themselves. And in that moment, in that movie, there's a scene where Luke Wilson's character is talking to somebody. He's like, I was at a weekend retreat, or I was like at my girlfriend's parents' cabin for the weekend, and they started asking me about water sports and what I wanted to do out on the water. He's like, and not only did I not want to answer that question, but I never wanted to answer another water sports related question in my life. And you can just tell. And then he ended up escaping from a voluntary psychiatric clinic, so he had must have had an instance. But between that water sports moment and then Owen Wilson talking about jet skis, I mean, just made me very happy. And so there's so many pictures of Owen Wilson on a jet ski now floating around the internet, and it's just beautiful. Yeah. So for me,
I did not know that backstory. That's awesome.
And just the writing too, though, in the early 1990s, for a brief shiny moment, there's a beautiful union of form and function, which we call it. That's a great line. That's yeah. So it's just me, and that was just during a chat. Like that's him and Loki chatting were highlights for me in this show. I don't know if you have the same thing.
No, they have so much chemistry together, man. Mm-hmm. They have so much chemistry together. It's Owen Wilson being wow, he's kind of wow, but he's bureaucracy, wow, he's bureaucracy, wow. And then you have Loki realizing that actually, I've been the jerk this whole time, So WandaVision, you have that theme of suffering. Falcon, you have the theme of what is my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? What's the correct move? What kind of person should I be going forward? And Loki is a redemption story. Mm-hmm. And Owen Wilson's character is trying really hard to be Loki's friend.
Yeah.
he's trying really hard to be Loki's friend, like he's the Waingro of the picture, if you will, he's trying to be everybody's
Hey,
friend.
pal.
And